Outline. Have you got cards for me, though, in case anyone else is interested in the I just saw it right on my refrigerator for this. Right next to my water cake that I didn't win. I got lotto, I get Okay, go on to it. Yeah. You doing great. Oh, God bless. Must have been another tremor. We're not earthquake compatible, apparently.
Yeah? No?
That's what the clock felt. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday, March 21st, 2023 council meeting. I'd like to start the meeting inviting everybody to stand with me and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. So I would ask for just a moment of silence, please. All right, thank you all very much. So let's move on from number 1 to number 2, adoption of the minutes of the regular meeting held on March 7th, 2023. And I will look for a motion from the council, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt the minutes of the meeting of March 7th, 2023.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Thank you, Joe. Any questions or comments? Changes? We're all satisfied. Perfect. Hearing none, I sense a ready to vote. All those in favor of accepting the minutes of the regular meeting held on March 7th, 2023, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. We have adopted the minutes of the regular meeting held on March 7th, 2023. So we will move on to number 3, presentations, congratulations, and introductions. And I will start with, I will yield the floor to Chief Morris for introduction of new police officers and ACO. So, Chief, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I just want to take a moment to introduce our newest officers to the town council and some of the townspeople that come out. First, I'll start with Officer Frederick Rock. She has been a law enforcement officer with the Gus Police Department prior to here. We'll next go to Officer Brett Lowell. He too has been in law enforcement for about 15 years. I say 15, only productive for only 15.
You know where you stand now.
So recently I worked with Brett in Augusta, but prior to that he did work in some of the other surrounding communities of here. Somerset SO, Dexter, Police, Skowhegan Police Department, and did work in Indiana too as well for a stint. Our next animal control officer right there, Russell Kraft. Some of you already seen him around your house, is taking care of the skunk problem. He's been doing a good job with that and very happy with what he's been doing. And I'm trying to keep this kind of short, and I have this big, long law enforcement code of ethics. I believe they're here at the table, and each one of the council members have them, and each of the officers have these as well. I'm not going to have you guys read it, but I am going to have you, or not read out loud, but I am going to have you come up to the table here. All three of you. And if you could just take a moment to read these to yourself, and I'd like you to sign the bottom. And something I want you guys to think about when you're performing your duties out in the community, that these law enforcement code of ethics are what law enforcement officers across the nation stand by. This is the opportunity for you to be the ambassador for the town when you go out and make sure you're giving them a good product. Again, these are basically, this is our course of action and our code of conduct on how we should represent ourselves for the people of Pittsfield. So go ahead and read those over. I'd like you to sign them at the bottom. And for you that don't know, these are also part of our SOP, our standard operating policy. So these are rules that they need to adhere by to work for us.
Actually fortunate you could have had them memorize it.
I wasn't going to do that to them. They thought I was going to, though, because I handed it to them at the last minute. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Welcome and congratulations. Welcome aboard to Pittsfield. Glad to have you all on board. Thank you very much. And I think your timing for animal control is perfect. Because this is when all the fun things start coming up from the deep dives.
Absolutely.
Well, welcome aboard, everybody. Thank you. So let's pass on to Catherine, if you would, please.
Yes, thank you. Under presentations, congratulations, and introductions, we have community and economic development activities and events. For projects and grants, the first one I'll mention of two, our Planning Partnership Initiative Program update. This is our Main Street project and a very important project for the town. Just a reminder that the kickoff meeting for the Planning Partnership Initiative Program was scheduled for Thursday, March 30th at 6:30 p.m. It was important, and it took a while, to get the consultant landscape architect, who was the sub-consultant on this project, the main DOT officials, the Kennebec Valley Council of Governments representatives and planners, the mayor and members of the committee able to attend. So we had almost everyone from the whole group. That was the best day on March 30th. So we have a meeting package that will be coming from the engineering firm, Gorell Parma. And so as soon as that comes, we'll distribute it to the committee. Then we will contact the town councils that aren't on the committee so they can have some materials if they like, the planning board, and the Pittsfield Economic Expansion Corporation, as well as advertise it. The second item is the congressionally directed funding applications. I just wanted to let the council know that after Oliver Associates advised us that we did not receive the Drinking Water State Revolving Loan Funding, WSRF, for Birchwood Terrace construction, we looked around as fast as we could for some other funding. There's very little funding for water projects. We are on the backup list, so if enough projects dropped out, we could be awarded, but the backup list is very long. So we spent several days looking around for different options and came upon the congressionally directed grant application to the U.S. senators and congressmen for our area. Competition is fierce. This is somewhat of a long shot, but we did spend that time. We created the best application we could, narrative, community support, background, information, and letters, and also had discussions and meetings with the different congressional offices. So if we had got the drinking water funds, that would have moved the Birchwood Terrace project forward quickly. However, we're going to go ahead and apply for the Clean Water State Revolving Loan Funds, which we were awarded for the sewer part of the project, and start the drinking water design work. We didn't want to apply for the clean water when we didn't have the other funding, because you'd be making a loan payment ahead of time. That's never good. But now that we do have the design work, we know that we're not going to get the construction funding, at least this year, and we can get the clean water funds for the sewer. We will go forward, do as much as we can, and then reevaluate how to proceed further. So as we know, if we get one of these drinking water projects that have 0% or 1% interest, it's almost as though you're getting a grant, because you don't pay all of that interest. But if we did get the congressional directed funding, which, as I said, is a long shot, but it would give us 80% of the money for the project, which is a little bit over $1 million paid for as a grant, and we would have to come up with 20%, which is actually better than the drinking water program if it did happen. If not, then we'll keep looking around for funding. We're getting quotations on what it would cost if we went through a commercial bank. And that is an expensive option, but we'll get that information. So we did put in an application very quickly. It happened in between the council meetings, and as best as possible. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Catherine. So you're all set with
I
number
am.
4. All right, very good. Thank you very much. Number 4, public hearings. There are none scheduled for this evening. Number 5, will we move on to reports? Council committees, Finance Committee, any report?
That was canceled last week because of the storm.
You got a rescheduled date?
Working with Catherine on it.
Okay, very good.
Should be either next Tuesday or the following Tuesday. Not sure yet.
Yes, we'll talk after the meeting.
Okay.
One of the projects that we wanted to do was to get the departments together with the town councilors. So I did talk with the departments at the last meeting, last week at a department head meeting, about having a meeting either on the last Tuesday of the month, which is the 28th at 6 o'clock, for a social hour. They'll talk about the departments, and we'll give them awards for different items, and all employees would be invited. If that date worked for your schedule, we'll set it. If not, we'll need to do this before one of the council meetings, probably in April.
Okay.
So you can think about that, and then we'll figure it out at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
And then that will tell us when we can do the finance committee meeting.
All right, sounds fine. Ordinance Committee? We didn't meet. No report. Very good, thank you. Catherine, let's continue with B, please. Let's look at the plan on Parks and Recreation and recycling, please.
Yes, thank you. For the planning board, we have tentatively scheduled a meeting for April 10th, 2023, their regular meeting night. It's fitting into their schedules of the planning board members. That would be a Monday at 7 p.m. The next recycling committee meeting has been scheduled for May 17th, 2023. That is a Wednesday at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Okay, you want to continue with the town manager report, please?
I shall. Very good, and very quickly. We had a Pittsfield Economic Expansion Corporation meeting. That's our 501c3 that works on larger economic development projects. That took place on Monday. Anyone who attended can report on it, but I'll note that we went over the economic development plan, the types of information that everybody on the directors are going to provide and I'm going to work on. Interested parties list that we can work with and have go over the economic development plan, as well as the property list for sale. There's very little real estate for sale in the community, either of residential or, as Pete would be in charge of and work with commercial and industrial. We did identify a couple of properties that we hadn't thought of that might be interested in being on the list. We don't put anyone on the town website or in the economic development plan interested properties for sale unless they are truly interested, because some people do not want their property listed at all. So we do have a couple more people to call, and we will get that document so the town council can look at it. Also, to let you know that today we had the scoping meeting for the airport airfield wide crack seal and pavement markings. This is a large project for crack sealing, basically, and some of the cracks can't be just sealed. They have to be dug out and worked on and then sealed. And so this will be an important project because our runway was put in after about 35 years. It was put in with a new one in 2023 to 2024. So it's, as you can tell, 20 years old now, so it's got a lot of cracks. The town does go out and crack seal in between when we can get money from the federal and state government. That's something that most airports don't do, but we do this as much as we can. And so we've done some crack sealing, but this would be a major project of over $150,000. We had listed, when we got our letter from the state, that we could get $151,000. At the meeting, the federal government mentioned it might be as high as $175,000. So they're working out how much we'll be eligible for. We have to file a grant application for that. We do have a lot going on at the airport. We've got a request, which is very firm, for lease space at the airport to build a hangar. So that will be another hangar at the site. That would be good. And we also got contacted by an individual who's buying out the 40-year lease at the airport for a hangar. So that's something that we'll be working on. It requires approvals at the town council level, at the planning board level, code enforcement officer, and the airport committee. Number 7 is we're continuing to work with the trio of experts, specifically the software expert that's been assigned to us that is very knowledgeable. And so he is working on the permanent fixes that are needed for the budget, as well as for the taxes. The water sewer may be more of a challenge because they've done several fixes and we're manually entering information still because we want to get the bills out and because we need to, because not all the information is coming over, not all the digits of the readings. And so TRIO will continue to work on that. We're in contact with them several times a day, and they with us. Number 8 is the Maine Housing Water Assistance Program. This has been a great program for the town. It's provided 6 people with the ability to pay for the back bills that they had during COVID when they weren't employed, so this has really helped them out. And now we've been told that people will be able to get a credit on future payments of their water and wastewater bills, which is quite surprising. And it must be because there's enough money available. So that's a good thing. We can get ahead for some people. That is income specific from the Maine Housing Program. So when we send out the water and sewer bills, we've been putting in the notice so that people will know about the application and that this program is available, and there's been considerable interest. I'll skip down to the credit card. I met with the bank and we were advised our credit cards were approved, so that was exciting. And then I got the one credit card in the mail and was all excited. You can tell it's a credit card because it's in there. And then we got in another envelope from the same company on the same day we were told that it was suspended. So we'll work on that, but we're getting closer. It's hard for a town to get a credit card. We're just not like a regular person, but we're getting there. We're going to sign up for the Maine tax portal for tax payments. I usually send checks on things, but I think that this will help not have our checks get lost on the sales tax with the state of Maine. That's something that happens with that and with our auto registrations. But I think that that would help if we can do those with the credit card. Open positions, we do have 2 applications for the Full-time code enforcement officer, that's a new position, or bringing back a position that we had back in 2003, 2004. Those are individuals who are learning to be a code officer. They're not having any experience yet, but they did pass the LPI test, so that was good. We'll interview them at a certain point. We do have others that are starting to call up and get the applications, so that's good too. For administrative assistant, we have some applications that we've received, so that's very good. A new one that we're adding back in is recycling attendant. Our recycling coordinator has decided he will advertise for that position now. Over the winter, he had an employee work from a different department that would have been laid off and had unemployment and everything. And this person was able to work at the transfer station and liked it and did a really great job. But he'll be leaving to go back to the cemetery once the snow goes away. So we'll advertise for that. And we won't need to advertise for full-time police officers, but we did have one of our police officers who aren't here tonight give their notice that they will be getting done effective April 9th, and the chief has candidates for that position that he's been talking to, so that's good. I'll just mention that on the next council agenda, we'll have the townwide appraisal to maintain equitable assessments for consideration. We did get one bid from our current assessor with 2 options. It's very interesting and seems quite doable. We also have the negotiations for the next police contract. We have a tentative contract that was reached between the Town Council Committee and the union membership. The Police Labor Negotiation Committee met with the police union twice, as well as had their own meetings. The police chief and I have gone over the tentative contract, and we just have a few minor revisions, so I expect that that can be reviewed by the Town Council at the first meeting in April. And just to note that general assistance is continuing here. We have 5 cases for us to review tomorrow, so that will be an exciting day here. And then hopefully we'll get back to some other work. And then I mentioned the meetings with the departments, which we'll talk about as that date fits into the town council's schedule on Tuesday, March 20th at 6 o'clock. Thank you so much.
All right, Catherine, thank you very much for that.
Mike, can I ask a question
Yeah.
about one of the items? Catherine, the airport, you said that there's a 40-year lease and somebody's looking to buy that lease out.
Yes.
Is that the existing leasee, or is it an older lease somebody's leaving and it's a new opportunity for somebody to come into?
The second, it is a new opportunity for somebody to come in. It was a 40-year lease. It's coming up for renewal on January 1st, 2027. If the person wants to have a new lease, they're going to have to pay the new fee, not the dollar for 40 years.
Oh, that was the weird one that's been hanging around.
Yes, and then there's another project for a new hangar, completely separate from that.
Okay.
So as our project for our revenue generating hangar goes forward, we'll start to get inquiries and everything. It's starting up now.
So the person that's in that 40-year lease now can opt to renew at the new rates, or if they say no, then somebody else can come in.
So they're selling the lease to this new person.
Oh, okay.
Who then, we're going to explain that if they want a new lease, which they're asking us for a new lease to extend it beyond just having it for a couple of years, you don't want to buy a hangar and bring your airplane here and only have 2 years and then get booted out. So they would want a long-term lease, and we will tell them that that will be at the new rate, of course.
So if there's a change in leasee, does that change the terms and it's as a new lease completely? Or are they able to transfer that 40-year, the remainder of that 40-year lease?
If they have a regular lease agreement with the town, one of the regular 20-year ones that we have, they're able to transfer that, but they need approval from the town, and the lease continues. It states in the lease as one of the requirements from the federal government that it is transferable, but does require the town's approval. In the other case, the one lease that remains under the old language, which is just like 2 paragraphs from 37 years ago, just indicated that it was good for 40 years and you pay $1.
Okay. Thank you.
All set?
I had something, Mike.
Yeah, go right ahead, please.
Where are the positions posted For open positions. What websites are we using?
All right, so we have, we just got approval for main jobs, in the USA, which is actually the main job bank. So we have that. We just got the approval, that got held up, but they did unlock the website so I can go in. And
That's
do-
jobsinmaine.com or
Yes,
something like
that
that?
one. Yeah, they just unlocked it, and we have to give them the PO. They had several different people handling it, and that took a while. It's in the State of Maine Job Bank, where we're getting applicants down to the Career Center. It's on the town website, it's on the Maine Municipal Association website, where we're getting job applications from, and we're buying ads again in several newspapers.
Okay.
Rolling Thunder will come out on Monday. I think that might help with the fact that unfortunately people were furloughed.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All set, Jason?
We got a variety of free ones too, but they're not as productive.
All right. All set?
Mike, I got.
Yeah, please, go ahead. Yeah.
Two things. Well, one really. The airport, the crack seal and pavement markings. Is this a separate section over and above what was contracted to be repaved already?
Yes.
So, how much of that is left to be paved? How much was not covered by that contract? I guess is what I'm trying to find out. How much of the airport? Because wasn't that part of the main runway that was contracted to be paved?
So there hasn't been a contract for the main runway for a while. There was the big project that involves the apron and the ability to get to the runway.
Okay.
And that whole area there by the apron and the new area for the
Okay.
hangar. So that's the project we have now. So this is a separate project under the new airport funding that we have eligibility under up to either the 151 or the 175, depending on what the state and federal government work out, that can go onto the actual runway. And so they're going to go out and walk the runway and figure out the best way to utilize those funds, because there are a lot of cracks being over 20 years old.
Okay, and that brings up kind of my follow-up to that, because I felt that we encumbered a lot of those funds already to cover the difference in the contract cost.
For that specific project.
Right, how many years did that, was that just a 1 year, that the 151,000?
Yes, that's separate from the big project that had all the different grants and everything involved with it.
Okay.
And all the different approvals and others getting involved and having to be involved. So the 151,000 would be for 4 years, but we used 1 year of it toward the separate project. But we still have money.
Okay, we only used 1 year, that was my
Yes.
question, okay,
Yes.
thank you.
I know, there's so many airport grants.
Yeah, no, just, yeah, they're overlapping a little bit, so, thank you very much.
Which is not a bad thing, really.
No,
This is true.
Anything else, council? All right, very well, let's move on. Old business, there is none for this evening. So we shall move into number 7, new business. Catherine, if you would, resolution 23-24, please.
Resolution 23-24, resolved that the town council approve the mutual police aid agreement with the town of Newport and authorize signature.
Look for a motion to council, please.
Move that we adopt resolution 23-24.
Second.
Moving second, thank you, gentlemen. Any questions or comments from audience? Very well, I'll close the audience. Councilors, any questions or comments on this? I think it's fairly standard boilerplate in a way that we've done many, many times. Very well, it's going to go pretty slick, pretty easy. Very well, hearing none, assess ready to vote. All those in favor of resolution 23-24, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-24 passes. Catherine, let's move on to resolution 23-25, 25, please.
Resolution 23-25, resolved that the town council approve the mutual police aid agreement with the towns of Skowhegan and Clinton and authorize signature.
Look for a motion from the council, please.
Move we adopt resolution 23-25.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments? Anyone in the audience? Very well. Opposed to audience input. Councilors, questions or comments? Very well. Hearing none, I sense ready to vote. All those in favor of resolution 23-25, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-25 passes. Catherine, let's move on to resolution 23-26, please.
Resolution 23-26, resolved that the town council act upon the nomination for the Pittsfield Spirit of America Award for 2023.
Look for a motion from council, please.
Move we open nominations on resolution 23-26.
Second.
Very well. Open for nominations and seconded. I'd like to throw a name in there. I'll jump in on the floor first. I know he had just recently passed, but Ken Chinquette had done quite a bit for this town. We hear about everything that Chimbro had done, but a lot of it was done under the Chimbro umbrella because it was one of the Chinquette brothers done it. And I believe the majority, if not the bulk or the complete existence of the football field in IMCI was, Ken spending hours and hours and hours on a loaned Chimbro piece of equipment working on that. So I'd like to consider Ken Chinquette's name in that. So any other feedback, council? I know we have a list here on sheet 21 of the package here. There are some suggestions put on there. Any input? Ideas? Other names to be considered? Anyone considered from that list? Do we have a name we'd like to act upon this evening, or shall we table for the next?
I move we adopt the name of Ken Chinquette for this award. Second.
Good, second. Any discussion, council? Very well. Hearing none, my sense ready to vote. All those in favor of nominating Mr. Ken Chinquette for the 2023 Spirit of America Foundation Award, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Let's put Ken Chinquette's name on that floor, please, Catherine. Very well, council. Thank you. Let's move on to resolution 23-27, please, Catherine.
Resolution 23-27, resolved that the town council approve the issuance of a parade permit to the MCI Key Club for a 5K color run on May 21st, 2023 at 9:00 a.m. to benefit the Pittsfield Park and Recreation Department and waive the permit fee.
I'll look for a motion from council, please.
Move we adopt resolution 23-27.
Second. Moved and second. Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions or comments? Anyone in the audience? Speak for or against? Very well. I will close the audience. Councilors, questions or comments on this? This is getting way too easy. I'm getting nervous now. All right. Very well. I hear none. Essentially ready to vote. All those in favor of resolution 23-27, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-27 passes. Let's move on to resolution 23-28, please, Catherine.
Resolution 23-28, resolved that the town council approve the public exhibition permit for the May Cheese Festival to be held on Sunday, September 10th, 2023.
Look for a motion from the council.
Move we adopt resolution 23-28.
Second. Moved and second. Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions or comments? Anyone in the audience? I take it we're all cheese fans. All right, I'll close the audience. Councilors, any questions or comments? Heather, anything you'd like to add?
I can answer questions if anybody has questions. This will be the 4th year that we have the festival located in Pittsfield. Before that, it hopped around in different areas in southern Maine, and the consensus from the participants and the attendants is that the park is a beautiful spot. It gives us lots of room to grow. This year, we're looking at having over 1,700 attendees as our goal, and yeah, we're just kind of digging into planning now and getting ready to release the vendor applications, so those will be coming out. And we also have sponsorship opportunities, so if local businesses want to be involved in sponsoring or donating to the guild to help put this event on, that's always appreciated. We'll have information about that as well.
Will that information be disseminated among town? Would there be, can we put a link on the town website?
Yep, we can do that. The Cheese Festival, we have a dedicated, there's the Maine Cheese Guild, has its own website for the organization, and then there's a website for the Cheese Festival, and that's where you'll find information as vendors sign up. We'll put their information on there. As we get the bands scheduled, we'll put that on there, the daily schedule, the educational sessions will be listed on there as they're planning. So it's an ongoing work in progress until we get up till about the beginning of August. And then everybody has to kind of have their commitments in, and then we'll know exactly what's going to be on the tap for the day.
Pointed question for you. I know you said it's been 4 years in a row here.
Yep.
So it would be nice to assume that they're going to keep coming back. Is there anything that you can think of that Cheese Guild has talked about, other people have mentioned, that could make this the anchor? Is there anything that could kind of lock this in for a long-term thing?
I'm doing what I can to do that.
Oh, no, that's a given. That's a given, that we all know that.
You know, right now, there isn't really any discussion within the guild to move it elsewhere. There's a lot of discussion around expanding it to be a 2-day event, trying to involve some of the other food guilds and artisan food makers here in the state. There's an oyster guild now. I don't know if you know that. There's an oyster trail. There's a beer trail and a Mid-Coast cheese trail. And then, of course, you have Maine Grains. So there's a lot of like individual guilds. So there's been a lot of talk of expanding the festival being like a seat for artisan food festival and kind of growing it in that way. Right now, we don't have the capacity within our organization to have a 2-day event. And we need more participation from other guilds in order to have enough vendors to do it. As cheesemakers, a lot of us have farms, so it's hard to be away for 2 days for an extended period in a row. So we need other vendors and other things around it to kind of build that out. So that's like the eventual goal of the festival, to kind of really draw people to the central Maine area. And this year, the focus on marketing is going to be getting people to come and attend. From anywhere from up in the New Brunswick, Canada area, all the way down to New York City, Massachusetts, Connecticut, to draw people up. We have another grant from the Maine Office of Tourism to help with advertising for that, to get the word out into other states to bring people in. And one of the things we'll be building out on the website this year is places to stay in the area, other things to do, places to eat. So local businesses, if you want to send me information, I'll get that onto the website, and then we'll be able to kind of like get people here and keep them here for a little while, and bring all that money that they have into Pittsfield and the surrounding town areas. So that's kind of like the goal for this year, is to kind of build it out and get more people aware of it, and then go from there.
Yeah. So if you're going to have the Cheese Guild and the Oyster Guild, you're going to have the Cracker Guild somewhere.
I don't know of a Cracker Guild. We do have the
Well, and what knows them both?
Alliance. Yep, we do have the Maine Grain Alliance, and in June they have an event over at the Skowhegan Fairgrounds. It's the Maine Bread Fair in conjunction with the Kneading Conference. So it's great to be able to involve other organizations and other nonprofits like that, to be able to kind of pull them into the cheese circle,
The cheese wheel.
the cheese, yeah. Bread and cheese play nicely together, so.
I'll come up with a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Something really looking forward to, isn't it?
Yeah, and we'll build out the volunteer portal again, where people can sign up to do volunteering, and usually you get a day ticket and a T-shirt when you do that too. And we're going to have open ticketing. There's going to be no sessions this year. It's just one session, and we hope and pray the parking will all fit.
So, Another, I know I mentioned it briefly before about, you talked about getting the other guilds in the area, even, the immediate area of New Brunswick, Maine. I mentioned last time about some of the smaller farms that are popping around here, I'm not, advertised for Outland, but they're a perfect example.
Yeah.
We have, a very strong Amish community in the area, and they would fit into that style of craft beer, if you will.
Yep, absolutely. One of the things we're looking at is modifying the alcohol vendor area this year. Instead of having a designated spot for tastings, is to incorporate them in the entire festival. And we're working with the state on what the licensing is going to look like to do that, because under the existing taste testing license we've been using, they have to be in a segregated spot on their own, but it would really work better in other festivals. Do it in a way that they're like shoulder to shoulder with the cheese and the bread and other condiment type things, so you can kind of enjoy them as you go. That creates some other changes where, you have to ID everybody coming in, they need to be wristbanded. So we're kind of trying to work out what that would look like and what is going to work for everybody. And that would give us the ability to have like Outland come and have like a farmer's market style booth, do their samples and sell their products. And same thing with other farms. We had a couple vegetable farms last year. We had some bakers, and so we're hoping to kind of do more of that as well.
Good, fantastic. Council, I'll yield because I've already jumped in. Any other questions or comments on this? Thank you, Heather, for that.
Sure.
I really enjoyed it last year, even at my little table.
It's a fun day.
Yeah, it certainly was. All right, very well. Hearing none, I sense we're ready to vote. All those in favor of Resolution 23-28, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution 23-28 passes. So let's move on to discussion items. Catherine, if we can go through that Reader's Digest version, please.
We shall, and
Thank you.
it is a long listing of department accomplishments, starting on page 35. The councilors have that in their package, and it's online. Self-explanatory, so I'm not going to mention any of them. We welcome back the cemetery sexton in April, so he'll start having reports in April. And we welcome back Al Tempester, our full-time, covering for the full-time code officer position, who will be back from leave in April, and he'll have a report in there, and he'll start on the code violations and everything when he gets back. For the second item, we've got the financial reports as of February 28th, 2023. The council has received those via email. We did get those reconciled after working with Trio on some of the glitches that have been taking place. And so we have that defined and know what the issues are. And they've been able to move some of the entries over. So we were able to get our expense report and our revenue report. There's some other reports that we're working on, which they'll need to do another fix for. But this works out well for the budget for the counselors. So we have 16.7% of the expense budget is through, as we're through 2 months, and we spent 11.5% of the actual budget, and the amount that's listed on your expense summary report is 20.64, and that's because the school assessment has not taken place yet, so it's not listed on the budget, but we're spending the money out of the account. And then in July or August, when the figures are certified, we'll then input that into the budget because we'll know what it is and get the assessment. On the revenue summary report, we're also through 16.7% of the revenues that would be realized, and that we have received 11.10%. The statistics are usually lower until you get further on in the year. More money comes in from September, October, November, and December, not only from taxes, but from yearly payments and stipends, reallocations that take place, and funding from the state. So most of our money comes in the last quarter. Thank you.
All right, Catherine, thank you very much. Let's move on to number 9, reports. I'll open up to audience members. Anyone in the audience wish to speak on the topic? Any questions or comments? Anyone? Yes, please. For the record, if you could identify your name and where you're from, please.
All right. My name is William Clover. I'm from Clover Improvement Group. I spoke with you on the phone.
Yes.
About the theater. Yeah, I mean, I like to keep it a theater. You know.
Well, just for the record, the other councils don't know what you had called, talk to me briefly about. That's why I suggest that you would come to the council and kind of present your idea.
Well, I mean, come on, this movie there is incredible. It's from 1915. They started playing silent movies. You know, 1918 they put sound in. People from Pittsfield, you know, they may have watched the movie there and gone off to fight World War I. But we can't let that die. No way. If I can help it. I'd like to buy it and keep it in the theater. Playhouse theater. And there's a lot I'd like to do with it, you know, for this town. I heard you had an offer, and I'd like to know more about it, basically. So we can do that.
All right, if your interests fall through, would certainly entertain an offer if you have a presentation you'd like to do. And we have no legal binding contractual obligations right now, so you're more, as I said, you're more than willing to come back anytime if you want to present some more information.
So as far as that goes, I mean, what would be the I spoke to Mrs. Ruth last year, actually, about this. Things were crazy, I just don't go back to it at the time. But yeah, I'd like to. Would you like a presentation?
That's up to you.
And where would that be? What would that look like?
Whatever you want to. I can't tell you what your presentation should be like. I mean, if you have a vision for a property that you would like the council to consider,
Right.
you'd have to give us an idea of what property you're interested in, what you would like to do with the property, maybe some ideas, what maybe a business plan, at least a decent outline, what the offer would be. You know, I mean, you'd have to come up with some present. I can't tell you, okay, if you want this, is what we expect of you.
I kind of phrased that wrong. I guess my question here would be, what does this town want? What do you guys want? I mean, I moved here, 5 years ago? I fixed a house on George Street. I was your neighbor, I don't know if you remember me. A house on George Street. I fixed another house on Lincoln Street, you know, and we love this town. And so my question is, what does this town want? What would they like to see out of this? If someone was going to come along and buy it, what would that require? You know, obviously make an offer, but what would the town like to see? That's my question, and you guys are the people to ask. So,
Craig,
I mean, I guess, I think I kind of hear what you're asking, I think. And one of the things that kind of tripped us up in a previous attempt to have this kind of go through in another offer was a clearly stated vision, right? So what you see, and I think there are many members of this council that would be interested in meeting with you off council times, and to talk. You can contact us all. Our contact information is right on the website, so you can reach out to us, have those discussions. Members of these towns have been more than vocal about talking about what we can do to better this community. And we also have, right now, we're in the middle of going through our planned partnership initiative, which is us getting a chance to create the entire vision for the downtown of Pittsfield, right? So that is where a lot of these ideas are going to be born and come from, and where, you know, you can kind of align your vision with that. Second big piece is a detailed business plan. I can tell you that that's kind of where the last one kind of fell short, is in that business plan piece. And being able to present to this council the understanding that there is financial backing, that there is the ability to follow through with plans, and that we're just not putting our, a significant piece of our downtown into someone's hands that could potentially get 3/4 of the way through a project and then all of a sudden the marquee's hanging off the front of the building kind of thing, right? So those are kind of the biggest bullet points that I would say would be your next steps. And if, I believe we convened, was it May 7th?
Yeah, a couple months.
I think it was May 7th is when I do know we kind of decided that we would circle back to look at proposals. And I know there's going to be one significant proposal that's coming in
Yeah, the May 7th for that one proposal.
for that one proposal. So I would think that that would be kind of your timeline or time frame that you would want to have something to us by then to at least have a competing idea so that we know what we're doing. That makes sense.
Absolutely, sure.
So,
Just basically put that together and send it to who would like that.
So I think everything probably should flow right through Catherine.
Okay, Kyle?
Yeah.
All right, so just you asked me to state who I am. Basically, who I am, I'm a real estate investor. I've been around the country, and I have the ability to fix the building. I have the ability to do this. I have a background in entertainment. I worked for Foxwoods Casino for years. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to return to a classic movie theater. I'd love to do like free matinees for the kids on the weekends. And for playing older movies, not the new stuff, I would not try to bring this theater up to 4K or whatever, I see that as a classic theater, and I can pull that off. So I can put that together for you, and I'll send it to you. And I just wanted to know any other concerns someone might have if I'm going to put that together.
I think that would be,
that'd be a start. I mean, we can't give you the direction on your vision. You need to present that to us if you want to follow through with it.
Sure.
Okay?
yeah.
All right. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak? Just about any topic. Jane, you want to mention some concert series?
Well, I put a little card on your desk. This is year 8, which I find absolutely amazing. We have, what we've tried to do over those years is we have some old faces. Let me rephrase that. We have some people that have been around and have come before, because there are a lot of old faces. But we try to get some new faces. We've got a really nice blend this year of old and new. It's kind of interesting how this has evolved, because it's Barb gets some pretty strange telephone calls throughout the winter months about people looking because they go online to see what we're doing. And so we had a call maybe back in January. We actually have somebody who wants to visit Maine, so they're coming up from Florida. And I've listened to them online. It appears as though they have nice music in Florida. I'm not 100% sure about that, but we'll find out when we get here. We've got some new faces this year, and we're pretty excited. The response from the businesses in the community for this year also has been just absolutely fantastic, because it is beginning to catch on a little bit. We're kind of hoping as we get a little bit closer to the time, I have contacted Bernard, and he will have his the fire truck trailer there for some things, but we have some other people who have expressed an interest with maybe food trucks and know that they have to apply at the town office and so forth. So but we're ready to rock and roll. This year, for some strange reason, we have 9 Thursdays instead of 8, but we're ready to go. And I don't know. Mike has volunteered to sing opening night, but I will worry about that. So
Yeah, but the stipulation is I can only sing good in the shower, so we're going to have to figure something out.
oh my God. Okay. on that, here goes the discussion right down there. With having said that, it's going to be, I think, a good summer. The one thing that I would ask everybody in the room to do is to pray that we don't have any rain. Although I will say that David over at MCI has been really great this year, and because of some things that they have available, there is a gym available also during July when they're doing their ballet stuff, so there will be a space. So if it rains, we do have, so we don't have to cancel anybody this year. So that's pretty, and we have a waiting list, which is nice.
That's fantastic. You and your wife do a fantastic job. You do a lot of work, so thank you personally. And from the, I'd like to speak for the town also. I mean, it's such a benefit that people kind of take for granted now. They expect it every year, so I know you are the force behind, so thank you very much for what you do on this year. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak? Very well, I will close to audience input, and I will start with Deputy Mayor Margolski, please. Anything you'd like to bring up?
Nothing.
All set?
Yep.
Very good. Councilor Donahue, go with you next.
Apologize for my tardiness. I spent the day at the State House today. It was Ag and the Legislature Day, so I spent the day talking to legislators about agriculture and cheese, of course. So that was kind of fun, but that's where I was. So I missed the introductions of the new officers, but welcome. Thank you for coming. It's nice to have a full force again, and I hope to meet you all, but not when you're in your patrol cars. I can take one on the road most of the time. So thank you for that. And GM, I'm glad to see that the schedule is out, and thank you to you and Barb for all the work that you do putting that together and liaising with all the businesses to kind of build a community event. So that's great to see that that's happening. Thank you to the council for your support for the Guild again for the Cheese Festival. We're looking for a really great year for that. And I'm really excited about the PPI planning meeting next week. It's been a long time coming. I think we wanted to start it back in October. So it's great to see that kind of finally rolling out and getting that started for planning. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Heather. Councilor Frost, please.
It's nice now to play face to the nighttime skunk tracker.
That's your new name.
That's all I have.
On that note, let's move on. It's quite an impact you brought to the council. Councilor Saucier, please.
No report.
Very well. Councilor Jester.
I just echo the comments of thank you to all our officers and Chief Morris for bringing everybody. I think that's a big thing to have the show of solidarity with the community and what our officers are committing to in their personal lives outside of just what they're doing here in our community, right, on a daily basis on their job. So kudos for that to all of you. Thank you for showing up. That's it.
Thank you, Ron. Councilor Hall, please.
Just thank you for the officers. They're cracking down on drug issues. I think we've seen that lately. That's always good. Moving that in a positive direction. In addition to that, I have couple questions. The flashing speed limit sign, where's that at? Is that supposedly in the... Donnie have it? Does Donnie have that?
All right, so there were two flashing speed items. First was the mechanism that comes behind the truck that gets moved around.
Yeah, not that
we
one.
apply
The
for each year.
The permanent one.
And then Donnie has the one that we got. At first we weren't approved for it, and then finally it came through after like a year or so. Donnie has that. That's the one that goes on Peltoma Avenue.
Is that going up sometime soon?
I will remind him about it.
Okay.
Is he, I'm sorry, will he coordinate with the chief?
Yes, and we have to coordinate with the MDOT too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one that would go, that would be up on the side of the road and shows the blinking of the speed limit so that people
Right.
see it and slow down.
Yep, understood. I didn't mean jumping, I just thought it was...
No, that'd be good. Peltoma's like a raceway, so that'd be great. And then
Where is that?
Peltoma Avenue,
Okay.
that's off of, like, down from MCI down to the Dome.
That's the airport.
Yeah. People get going pretty good through there. And then in addition to that, can we get the purchase of the dump truck process going?
Yes, that's.
Whenever that is, that was approved with the CIP, right?
Yeah, after several years, that has been approved, so as we talked before the meeting, the
Yeah.
finance committee needs to talk about it, and then we'll structure it so that it can go right on the council meeting.
Okay, yeah, we want to get that on the agenda. I don't know if you guys have seen the warrants, paying quite a bit to tow the excavator around because we don't have a dump truck, so I'd like to get that moving if we can. And that is it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jason. I will be very quick, very brief, which is not usually my style, given a captive audience. So I wish to start out, thank you everyone in the audience for showing up. Usually it's filled up with people with a dog in the fight. They have something they want to bring up and speak, but just participating in the audience. So thank you all very much. And as always, the usuals here. Chief, thank you for showing up. I appreciate the department you've developed, and I want to welcome everyone on board. Thank you all very much. You're going to like this town. It's a fantastic town, great community. So I appreciate you having you on board. Council, I appreciate everything that you folks have done. You know, it's been a tough road all at times, but I appreciate the support. Jan, thank you for everything you're doing for the summer concert series. And, you know, can we work on Chris Stapleton maybe next year? I'm just saying. Just let me know. I'll give you.
Let me think about it.
Okay, I appreciate it. All right, so once again, Captain, please let the ladies know upstairs that they, you know, what they do is greatly appreciated. It's a lot of work. They want to double dip.
It's a lot of work.
Okay. So thank you all very much. So that's all I have for this evening. With that, I will look for a motion to move into executive session, please.
Make a motion, we move to executive session.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, council?
Aye.
Aye. Very well. We are in executive session. Thank you all very much.
Ardell 7:30.
I know. But we're shooting at 7:25. Yeah. We had a strong possibility. You know,
Trying to really cut it down while we're spraying the
that was
no problem. Right over to room 100.
How we doing?